tutorial. Going to make a crochet heart. So it was really fun for me to make yesterday, so I just figured, why not show? So I'm going to be using some scissors, my favorite gold scissors. Going to be using a yarn needle for very small ends. And I'm going to use, these are both the same hook, but I'm not sure if I'll like the resign or the metal, so we'll see which one as I go along. And they're both eye hooks, as you see. And I'm just going to use some, the one in the fall, some red heart. This is the cherry red yarn. I think it's just like a 4 worsted weight. So yeah, let's make a heart. Okay, so first thing we're going to start with, I have my yarn. I have everything here. I have my hook. The first thing I'm going to do is make a magic ring. And I was going to show the 2 ways to make a magic ring. I'm not the best. I mean, I'm okay at making magic rings, but wrapping the yarn around your fingers 3 times. I feel like it's always the hardest to wiggle my finger out of there. And then just going ahead, don't laugh at my magic ring, it's pretty messy. I actually know there's that way, and then to go inside your ring. And then just honestly doing my slip knot, connecting there. But I feel like this one is not as tight. Chain in 2 or 3, either way. I'll say chain in 3. Going back inside that first chain, slip stitching, and then going into your ring. So we'll try this way since I already went ahead and made it. Hopefully it gets as tight as I need it to get. So the first setup for the magic ring, we're gonna do 3 trebles. So wrapping the yarn around the hook twice, going in. And just with me doing this right now, I feel like I'm probably gonna wanna use my metal hook, but we'll see. So with the treble, I'm gonna go through, wrap around twice as I did, kind of tight, pull through 2 of those loops, pull through another 2, go slow with my hands, and then pulling through the other 2. So we're gonna do that 3 times. That's 1 treble. And here, I'm gonna actually try and see how my metal hook feels. It has a little more weight. I think I'm used to like using more weight. And wrapping around twice. Well, this is our second treble. Pulling through 2, pulling through 2, pulling through the last 2. And then our third, wrapping around twice, yarning over, I should say, pulling through 2, pulling through 2, pulling through 2. They're not the neatest because you're in the ring, but that's usually okay. And so that is our first 3 stitches there. Then after that, we're gonna do 3 doubles. So 1, that's yarning over 1, pulling through 2, pulling through 2. I honestly recently noticed that I'm clearly preferring doing extended doubles. Like a lot of the times I feel like my hand just naturally does the extended double. But I want to make sure I'm clear on the double here because an extended double is necessary for this heart. So that was 2 doubles. That's our 3rd double. We can see this is starting to form a little bit. All right, and then our next is going to just be 1 double crochet. Yarning over, pulling through 2, pulling through 2. And then, let's see what we have next. Then we have a treble, 1 treble into the magic ring. All of these are going into the magic ring. Oh, our treble. I didn't yarn over the right way. Yarn over twice, pull through two, pull through two, pull through two, and that's our treble. We can already see it's starting to take a little form here, so that's nice. It's always rewarding to see, you know, that you're on the right track. And so that was our treble. Then we're gonna do one double after that treble. Oops. Yarn over, pull through two, pull through two. Okay. And now we're right now just kind of working on that point here. So let's see here. 3 doubles here. Okay. That's our first one. That's our second one. And that's our third one, right there. I gotta pull some of my yarn. All right, and let's just make sure that we're trying to keep the string out of the way, but not too tight, because obviously that takes place of like how our magic ring will cinch when we are finished. All right, and so we left off at our 3 doubles. Now we're gonna do 3 trebles, yarning over twice, pull through two, pull through two, pull through two, yarn over twice. It's our second treble. Pull through two, pull through two, pull through two, pull through two, and this is our third one here. Yarn over twice, pull through two. I'm trying to keep it nice and loose too. As you see, it's probably like a little bit of a struggle for me to keep it loose, but that's literally only because like I don't want to make it too tight when we're trying to work on the side. And let me pull some of my yarn out. You see a little pile there, get a little pile there. So I'm not messing with it the whole time. So those were our 3 trebles, right? Then we're gonna do 1 slip stitch in the ring. We see we've worked all around the wing, all around the ring. So just going in, slip. Okay. And then we're just gonna chain 1 here. And then what we wanna do to kind of close this up is find our chain space, our second chain space. So this was the first one that we made. So I just wanna go in there, right? Do a slip, right? And then we're gonna use this string to go ahead and close up that ring. Close it up nice and tight. Look at that. Now I'm gonna go and make, excuse me, I'm gonna make this heart a little bigger because I just want it to be a little bit bigger. But pull that string nice and tight. This can be the thing with doing, you know, not doing that magic ring the traditional way. I've done it both ways, but just for the sake of showing, you know, there's 2 ways to, and I'm not so upset that this is not closed all the way. Let me try to get it as tight as possible. Okay. Try to pull down and pull up, just to pull it. Okay, that looks nice and tight. All right, pick my hook back up here, and then let's see. Then we're gonna find that little place that we slipped, and we see we have this heart. I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple more rounds. So, just because I want it to be a little bit wider, but we get the gist. So for round 2, we're gonna go into our top loops here, right there, and we're gonna do 3 double crochets and same loop, both loops. And our double, pull through 2, pull through 2, same loop, go back in, double crochet, pull through 2, pull through 2, and our last one right here, go in, pull through 2, pull through 2. And I did watch this pattern, I watched a couple people do the hearts. Hooked by Robin did a really good tutorial, and a couple other ones. So yeah, if you want a slower, this probably won't get any slower than this, but a different tutorial, she's a good one. I always love to watch it. So the 3 in the top of the first loop. The 3 in the top of that first loop, 3 double crochet. We'll go to the next loop. We're gonna do another 3 double crochet. And this is basically just going to kind of build on what we've already made. Here, do 3. Okay. Keep an eye on that string. And then we're going to go in both loops again. You can kind of see that stitch. We're going to do 3 doubles again. In. In. Okay, you see this is kind of building that little outside heart there, so looks so cute. Okay. And we're going in again. Next loop, another 3 double crochets. Yarn over, pulling through 2, pulling through 2, yarning over, pulling through 2, pulling through 2. And that's kind of like the basis of the outside of the heart. Now, little bit of a change. We're going to go into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then we are going to just do 1 double crochet. There, 1, 2, and 3. And now what we're trying to do is cut that corner there. So after we stacked up all these stitches, we just want to kind of get that point, right, as best as we can. Then in our next, we're going to do 2. 2 in our next. Both, make sure you get both of those loops too. So we go through 2. Double crochet, go through 2. Okay. And it's forming, looking really good now. All right. So that was that one. We're almost working our way around the heart again, as you can see. And then we're going to go into the next loop, right? We're going to do 3 in this loop, but we're going to do 3 different crochets. So we're going to do a double. All of these are going in the same loop. We're going to do a treble. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. See how it's forming that point? And then we're going to do 1 more double. Just like that. Get a nice point. All right. We're basically working on the bases on the outside of the heart here. So, and then, all right. So we worked on that point right there. Now we're here. Next loop, we're doing 2 double crochet. Same space. Okay. Then we're going to do what we did over here, 1 double crochet in each of the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then let me pull this. Seem like it want to keep doing it. Okay. Next spot, 3 doubles. So we can build that the way that other side is. And make sure you be careful about where you're putting it, because now they're just kind of falling all together here. Second double. and my third double. Okay. And mine has those little gaps and stuff. I'm definitely going to tighten them up. But I actually sometimes I like seeing those little spaces, you know? I love seeing that. I feel like it adds a little character if it's not like too tight or too perfect. And then we are going to do three double crochets in our next hole, our next stitch, I should say. One double. That's my second double. And that's my third double. Gets a little tricky here because now we're just trying to keep that cinch in there. Okay, and this is our last stitch that was our last stitch for our double crochets. Then we are going to do in our last stitch, we did our 3 double crochets, and then we want to slip here so that we make sure we're closing that up. You see how that just instantly kind of like close that up for us. And then in the last chain 2 space, same thing we did last time. So we have our first one was probably a little bunched up, so that was our first chain. So we want to go right in here, do another slip stitch, right, and I'm gonna chain 1. Try to pull it as tight as you can, but then we'll chain 1 there. And you can repeat this if you do want to make your heart a little bit bigger, but I'm just going to do a little slight fasten off here, weave in, clip that. And then sometimes I make that mistake all the time. I try to pull my string through the loop. I would love one of those little trees that just hold my crochet hooks. I really do want that. And we're gonna pull that kind of tight so that we have that. And then what'll help create that dip here is going to be weaving in. So take that yarn needle. This is a standard one. All right, and I am finishing up here. So let us get this inside of here. Little trick. Fold it. Should go through that loop. And as I tighten this, I do want to kind of go around. I don't want to stitch too crazy, but I do want to go down so that it can help kind of weave in to help definitely create more of that cinch right there for the heart. It does perfect. Just going in a little order. People say they don't love weaving ends. It actually doesn't bother me too much. I enjoy the, the look of it being, nice and neat. And then I usually just go through. I usually go through in a circle and then kind of like come back up. I'm trying to be really delicate and not yank it too much because I don't, I want that perfect little, perfect little knot. Let's see. And then to keep this tight, I'm gonna go ahead and go through here and weave 2. Just because I did the little chain magic ring trick. So that is just another way to do a magic ring. I do both ways, honestly. There's good days and bad days for a magic ring for me. And just weave in, and then I do like to kind of go around And just to secure it, it's a, you know, it's a flat heart, so I don't want it to be having like too much work to do to stay together. I did kind of get the stitch, I stitched that down just to kind of get it to hold my, I guess I can call it a makeshift magic ring. I'm just trying to keep that there. Pull that through. Pull both of them through since I stitched that. And then get rid of our pin, our needle, and we can just go right at the base, and then those stitches will just fall in there since we, excuse my mouse, since we stitched that nice and tight. See, you barely even know it's there. And there we have it. I do want to play around with these a little bit more. I want to maybe make them a little wider, or like kind of do the double crochet, like an extra set of double crochets on the outside. But yeah, I think it is really cute and I love the way it came out. I did do a little puffy heart, so you could always make a replica of this and stuff it. It can be like something to hold your needles, or you do keychains, or anything you really want to do with that. Yeah, so if anybody stuck along, I do appreciate you for watching this tutorial, and hopefully I'll have some more coming. All right, bye-bye.